Happy Friday, you all. Here we are, another incredible edition of Bold, Badass Business Owners, where I bring you the boldest and the baddest. And today we have in the house Dr. Barrett Matthews, media boss. Woo! Welcome, Dr. Barrett.
Dr. Barnsley Brown, I am excited, thrilled, elated to be here with you, man. I'm going to have some fun with you today.
We're going to have fun, and we're going to provide so much value that everybody who watches this, they're going to know these quick and easy ways to look like they are everywhere. And so they totally outshine their competition. Like the competition doesn't even exist. How about that?
That's right.
That's right. That's what we're about. What competition? What do you mean? So they will be the go-to person. So everybody watching, look, you want to be the go-to, not flee from person in your industry. The go-to, not flee from. And Dr. Barrett, who I like to call Dr. B, and he calls me Dr. B sometimes. So from Dr. B to Dr. B, I can tell you that you're going to learn a lot today. So get out your pen and paper, everybody. Do it. I can see you. And let's get rolling. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about this amazing man here, who, by the way, just came back from Cancun just to be on this show, right, Dr. B? Dr.
That's
Barrett?
right. That's right. You're that important. I had to leave paradise for you.
You know what? I totally understand. I just get it. I am that important.
You are. I mean,
and you know what? Your message is important. Your message is important, seriously. And what you share with people today, I know is going to help them, because so many people have no idea how to use the media, how to use social media and other forms of media. And there's so much out there. So I'm just really excited that you're going to be sharing these simple, easy ways to do it. Now, y'all, Dr. Barrett has a strong background in media. He has worked in radio, print, and television. He had a stint at CBS Sports, plus hosting and producing podcasts, including the Black CEO Morning Show, Lunch and Learn with Chris Barrett, and Revenue Radio, as well as being a guest on many, many shows, including the 30-Minute Hour, the Linda Fostek Show, and the Power Podcast. So I like the name of that, the Power Podcast with Dr. George Fraser, just to name a few. And something else super interesting about him is he was recognized as a World Civility Ambassador. That's beautiful. I love that. In 2020 by I Change Nations. And he was the distinguished leader for 2019. He was also named a royal liaison to the Development King in Ghana. Wow, that's nice. Where he will introduce his Media Monarch program. So welcome, Dr. Barrett.
Well, thank you.
I'm the studio audience.
I got to meet that person.
Yeah, you're like, who is that? So let's just talk for a second. I usually don't start out with the story of how you got in business, because I hate those shows where people do that. But let me just ask you, like, what have you seen recently in your clients that has really shown you that you're doing the right thing, the right line of work, where you've just been excited by their results, by what's happening for them?
It's very simple. I've seen excitement and happiness. That's when I know I'm doing the right thing. Because if I've delivered what they wanted, they get excited and they're happy about what they're getting. I got off the phone with one today, and she's just so elated, just happy that I called her, because she was just so happy because things are going in the right direction for her. She's getting more visibility. She's getting more clients. Now she wants to know what's the next step. And, that's always good too, when people want to know what's coming next, because they're excited about their growth.
That's fantastic. And I know you have a whole process that you take people through, and today you're just going to share with us some easy things that we can do. But I want us to talk about your process too at some point. But let's just kind of jump right into these 5 ways. And how about you share way number 1 and what to get attention and why it's important? What is it that's so important about it?
Well, the one way, and the first thing that you need to do is wrap your mind around the fact that your old way isn't working. That's the first thing. So you have to really get your mindset right to understand it. You have to embrace media because it's not going anywhere. It's only going
Yeah.
to keep increasing, and the further you stay back, the worse it's going to get for you because everyone else is moving forward. So stop, delaying things and just embrace what's happening. That's number one. Number two,
Mm.
start
Well, let me
talking.
pause you for a second. I'm gonna
Go ahead.
pause you. Let's talk about
Go
number
ahead.
one. I
Go
like
ahead.
this, but yeah, let's talk about this. So the old way isn't working. So tell us in a nutshell, the old way, the old way. What did it rely upon? And what do you see that's the biggest difference now in the new media
I am so glad you
or
asked
the new
that,
way?
Doctor. Well, the
Yeah,
old way was sitting there thinking and hoping that someone would call you to be on their radio show, be on their
yeah,
TV show,
yeah.
write an article about you, hoping that someone found you interesting enough to put
Yeah.
you in their media. Well, the big
Mm,
change is that now you can have your own TV show, your own TV channel, for goodness sake. You can have your own podcast. You can have your own newsletter. You can self-publish a book. You can do a
mm,
film with an iPhone now. So now media is literally at your fingertips. So
mm,
you have
mm.
to embrace the fact that it's in your control now. Stop waiting on someone to call your name and call your own daggone name.
I love that. Stop waiting. That is a gem. Stop waiting for someone else to call your name and you call your own name. It's like the time of an equalized media. Because
Mhm.
truthfully, you like you said, you can have your own show. I mean, I really didn't intend to have my own show, Dr. Barrett, but it just happened.
Look
I'd
at you
always been
now.
told, look at me now. I'd always been told I should have a TV show. And I was like, yeah, right. Sure. I did appear on TV the first time when I was 16. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because I was like the great big fundraiser for the crop World Hunger Walk. And so I got on TV to talk about it at 16
And
years
you're
old.
only
That was cool.
17 now, so I mean,
I'm only 17 and a half. So it was a short while ago. But you're absolutely right. It's now the time where people don't sit back. You don't get somebody calling you and say, asking you for a quote, though I have had that happen. I
yeah.
have had it happen upon occasion, but it's very rare. We've got to put ourselves out there, right?
Mhm,
And our
mhm.
messages. And we can have a message that's global, which is so cool. So
Yes.
so tell us, you're saying the media is at our fingertips. What would you say is the fastest way before we go on to some of your other points? What would you say is the fastest way, Dr. Barrett, that people could get themselves going with some form of show or
Mhm.
being a guest on
Well,
shows?
actually, that is number 2. So
Look at us. We are so in tune.
I know, right? Actually, it's podcasting.
Hmm.
Podcasting is the simplest and easiest way to get media going. Why? Because it's easy for you to talk about something that you love.
Hmm.
And if you can talk about it, you hit record, you can have yourself a podcast. It may not be as perfect as you want it to be, but at least it's getting started. And if you want to get started in media, put a podcast out. You'll be amazed at how many people want to listen to you. You'll be amazed at that. A lot of times people procrastinate in doing it because they think, I got to be perfect. I got to have it perfect. You don't. You just have to get it done. So
And people
that's one
think
of
they
the
have to have
easiest.
an audience already, right?
Right.
Dr. Barrett,
Right.
like, I have to have an audience before I go on? No, no, no.
They
Just
think
get
that.
going.
They
I
think that.
love
You're
it.
right. Just get it going. You're right. And you'll attract your audience because now they know you're there.
Yes, yes. And that's what I found has been happening. Like my group and my YouTube channel have been growing so much. And by the way,
Mhm.
y'all subscribe, okay? Y'all who are watching, make sure you subscribe. And that's really exciting. But people are starting to realize because the show is new, they're starting to realize, oh, every Friday there's going to be a cool
Mhm.
interview with a really amazing person in business who's made their way in their industry. And that's just for me, it's a great way to just add value to the global community. It just feels really good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. So number three is embrace video. Now
Well,
I
can
know
I ask you about number two? I'm gonna stop you again.
it's fine. Stop me.
Okay, I want to stop you just because I would like you to give people just like how do they start a podcast? Like give us a little bit of the how. Where did they go and what do they do? And do they need a microphone? What equipment do they need?
Well, okay. I'm going to say yes and no on those. The easiest way to get started, there's a free source out there, Anchor. A lot of people
Okay.
start podcasts with Anchor. Now, if you want higher quality, higher value, then you have to start looking into that. I don't necessarily recommend any ones because I produce podcasts. So of course, I'm going to recommend me. But the thing
Yeah.
is, as far as equipment is concerned, don't overthink it. A lot of people say, "Oh, I got to have them." I've literally known people who've waited for months, even years. "Oh, I got to get the right equipment." No, you don't. You can do a podcast on your. Well, we've all heard of Russell Brunson with ClickFunnels. Russell Brunson
Uh-huh.
makes a lot
Yeah.
of money. He did a freaking podcast talking into his phone, driving to work. So, so to tell me that you need all this equipment, you're lying to yourself. You don't need it. Just get started. You can always upgrade later. You can always upgrade later, but just get it
It's what
started
you're
with.
talking about that matters, right? It's what you're
Yes,
talking about that matters.
yes.
It's the content you give. Like people will forgive bad, a little bit bad audio. They'll forgive a blip
They
here and
sure
there.
will.
They'll forgive you saying or
They sure
car
will.
horns beeping in the background or dogs barking. They'll forgive all that stuff if your content is
Yes,
first
yes.
rate.
You're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, I couldn't say that even better because they want to hear you. They don't. People aren't judging you as much as you think they are.
Hmm.
So just get out there and talk to them.
I love that. And tell stories, right?
Yes, as they say, facts tell, stories sell.
Love that. Yeah. Facts tell, stories tell. That's a writer downer. And everybody loves a good story. It was ingrained in us when we were kids, that quest of the hero. And,
Yes.
really, would you say, Dr. Barrett, that the person listening is the hero of your podcast? Really?
Yeah,
Who's the
almost
hero?
definitely.
Yeah.
Because when you like you just mentioned the stories, people listen. People love stories because they want to see where they fit in. They want to relate.
Hmm.
And if you can show them where they fit in a story, then they can relate to you. They can see themselves in that story and they want to listen to more.
Hmm. And I'll tell you the stories that get the most attention I've found, and you let me know what you think, but they're usually the ones like I did something recently where I was like the how I lost over $11,000 in my business.
Hmm.
Let me share that stuff. And what I did about it had so much engagement on that and so many watches because it was revealing, it was pulling the curtain back. It was letting
Oh yeah.
letting people see the real deal. So I will ask you, Dr. Barrett, to pull the curtain back. Ooh, let's hear a blooper. How about it? Tell us one of your worst media mistakes, just for fun. Tell us a story about one of the worst things you ever did on the
Well,
media.
fortunately, it didn't get on camera. But I was actually on a TV program in college. Actually, it was a news program.
Mhm.
I was a sports anchor, and
Nice.
I walked into the studio that day, and I just had a feeling, and I said, "This is going to be one of those bloopers and blunders days." And I said that verbally. I said that because I just had a feeling. And to start off the show, and I don't know if any of them are listening here or watching because this is gonna. Some of them may not like it, but we start off the show fine. Now my sports desk was sitting on this platform. Well, actually, there were two platforms put together to make my platform where my desk stood.
Mhm.
And the anchors, we had two female anchors. They were sitting across from me, and the producer told me that I didn't have to wear a suit every day since I was doing sports. I could wear a golf shirt. So one day I decided to wear a golf shirt. And one of the anchors, she says, "Barrett, what are you wearing?" I said, "Well, I was told I could wear this today because I'm doing
Mhm.
sports." And she says, "Well, I'm going to mess with you in the air." I said, "Don't do it. Don't do it." And she kept saying she was going to mess with me. I said, "Don't do it." And I even told the other one, I said, "Please tell her not to do this." So as soon as we came back from commercial, she says, "We're going to go to sports with Barrett Matthews now. Barrett, what are you wearing today?" And I said, "Well, I just grabbed the first thing we got out of bed this morning." And I just kept going with sports. And she's sitting there with her mouth agape, just like, "I can't believe he just said that." And I told her not to do it because I was going to have a comeback. And at that moment, the mic was mine for 5 minutes, so I could say anything I wanted to. So that was
All
just
right.
then on that
So
show.
I just grabbed the first thing. Tell us again what you said. Come on, own
I
it.
said, I just grabbed the first thing when we got out of bed this morning.
You got her. She never lived that down. But did it
Well,
go
it
on the
got
hair?
worse for her. It got worse. So after that, we went to commercial. I was done with sports, so I'm undoing my mic, and my chair slid between the two platforms, and I fell off my chair. So as we came back from commercial, we went to weather. The weather girl is still laughing at me falling. She never got through the weather. It was just
Because she just couldn't keep
she
it. She
laughed.
couldn't hold
I
it.
told her, I said, it would have been better if you just told them what you were laughing at. So as we're signing off the show, I don't know if you know this about a lot of short news anchors. They put phone books underneath their seat to prop them up. Well, that's what was happening with these anchors. Well, as the news anchors are signing off, they give a big wide shot of them at the anchor desk. One of them turns to the other one to say goodnight, and she slides off her chair under the table. So I was right. The show was a blooper and blunder show, but
They're probably like, they've been drinking or something today. What did this kid I was doing? That's
I wish
amazing.
I had that tape.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? If you had that tape, I guarantee if you put that up on social media, you get more engagement for that than any good thing you've ever done. I'm
Oh, I
serious.
wish
Like,
I had
people
that
want to know
tape.
the
That was
trash talk.
oh, it
They want to
was
know
a
the
fun
trash.
day. Yeah, we laughed about it for years, but one of the anchors is still a little bothered by it. I'm like, come on, it was fun, and get over it. It was fun. But anyway, that was
That is
what
just sad. That person obviously needs to lighten up. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
this stuff happens, doesn't it? We say stuff that we just something flies out of our mouth that we never intended to fly out of our mouth, or I fell off the stage one time. I fell off the stage, Dr. Barrett. I did. Thankfully, it was not a high stage. It was just about
Thank
a
you.
foot and a half. So, but literally, just like you had that little premonition, this is going to be a blooper day. I swear to God, I had a dream the night before I'm going to fall off the stage. And guess what
Whoa,
happened? It did. So when it happened, I just started laughing. I turned to the audience and I'm like, you won't
may as
believe this, but I
well,
had a dream about this last night. And
may
then
as
I started
well.
laughing.
Just
And as
laugh
soon
at
as
yourself.
you know what? As soon as we laugh, here's something for everybody. When you go on a podcast, don't, take that big stick out of your rear end, and get and laugh, have some fun because people want to be entertained,
Yes,
they want to
yes,
laugh. A lot of life is, hard, difficult, and, make whatever you're talking about funny. Just make it
exactly.
funny.
I
Find a way
agree.
to make it funny and fun. If maybe you're not funny, but you could just get a joke and tell it, or just, show a funny video or tell a story about something silly that happened that that you did.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got to be willing to expose ourselves and be real. And part of that is we're not always polished, are we?
No,
We're just not
no,
always
we're
polished.
not.
We
No,
just
we're not.
aren't. And actually people when we're presenting something, whether it's podcast or speaking in front of a group or whatever, and we aren't polished, people like us better. Have you noticed that? They like us
Well,
better because we're
it
human.
goes back to being able to relate to you. They're human. They want
Yeah.
to know that you're human.
Yeah.
They make mistakes. They want to know that you make mistakes. So when you show them that you're just like them, okay, now I want to pay more attention to you.
Yeah. Love that. So everybody who's watching now or later, like the candy, I want you to think about something that happened to you. I fell off the stage. You heard what Dr. Barrett did. He fell off his seat and he said something quite funny on that show. So I want you to think about something that you have done publicly and just pop it up there. Be real. What was a blooper that you had in your business? Think on that. And we need to share these and have fun with them. They make great stories, don't they?
Oh, they do.
They make
They
great
do.
stories.
And you
So,
better have
Barrett,
stories.
we've got number one, media is at your fingertips. Stop waiting, stop procrastinating, stop saying I have to have the right audience, the right equipment, the right this, the right that. No, you don't. Just get started. That was number one. Number two is your easiest way to start is to start a podcast, and you can use Anchor, which is free, to just get started. So that's number two. Just start talking. and sharing with people. Share your stories, share your client stories, share your own story, share stories of what brought you to what you do and why it's important in the world. Share case studies, just start talking. And if Russell Brunson can do it in his car, you can, on his way to work, you can do it. You can do it. So that was number 1 and number 2. I love those. How about number 3 for $500?
Number 3 is embrace video. Now, this is a sore subject for a lot of people. I don't want to be on camera. I don't like being on camera. Get over yourself, because video is king. Video is what's going to get more and more people to you. I am working with people now because they're using video now. Their podcasts are growing. Their visibility is growing. Guess what? Their leads are growing because they're using video. Embrace it. First of all, nobody is looking at you the way you think that people are looking at you. They would like to see you, but they're not there judging you the way you think they're judging you. They would rather you be there than not. People would love to see you than just listen to you. So just make sure that you put yourself on video. Be seen, because it can help your business to grow. Embrace video, because that is one of the things. And I'm not just talking podcasting. There are people out there who have Roku TV channels. So they have several shows on their channels. There are people out there doing documentary films on their business, because guess what? People who are going to invest a lot of money in your business, they want to know that there's a human side to you. They want to know that there's more than just what you promote. So embrace video, because video is king right now, and video will take you to a lot of different places that audio and print can't.
Yes. And I mean, we're a culture that loves the visual. We love the visual. And, the open rates of emails that have video, and you put video in the subject line. So let's say you do, instead of doing an e-zine and email newsletter, just do a quick intro of 1 sentence and give a video, and let that be your newsletter. More people will open it. That is shown. It can actually triple your open rate. And then people will click through because it's a video. You get way more click throughs that way. So video is the way to go. And, Google owns YouTube. Y'all, Google owns YouTube. So you want to be on YouTube to get your SEO, your search engine optimization. You want to have good videos with good keyword optimized titles and descriptions so that people can see you. And when they Google your name, and by the way, everybody do that, Google your name and Google your business name and see what comes up, right? See what comes up. Look at what's on Google about you. And people have all those resources, they're going to watch video. The biggest search engine for how-tos is what? YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is the king and the queen and the everything in between. Yeah, I love that. So video, and would you say, Dr. Barrett, are you thinking YouTube? Are you thinking Vimeo? What platforms for video do you suggest that people engage on?
That's a great question. I suggest YouTube, and let me tell you why. First of all, I do a lot of podcast production, as I mentioned earlier. And of course, a lot of people are focused on audio downloads on podcasts. I'm going to tell you right here, heard it here first. Audio downloads on podcasts are overrated, because a lot of people say that, well, that's how I can get sponsors. The sponsors want you to have like tens of thousands of downloads before they really want to pay you good money. So just understand that, which is hard for most people to get. So most people do not make money based on that audio podcast. But when you make it a video podcast as well, here's something that video gives you on YouTube that you cannot get on audio. On YouTube, when someone subscribes to your video, you know who it is. If you know who it is, you can follow up with them and get them into your cycle. So now you can possibly do business with them. I like YouTube because I can look for subscribers, and I can see who the subscribers are and follow up with them. It's the easiest way for me to get something out of it. Otherwise, you're shooting in the dark. That's why I like it.
That is such a great point. So you can see on YouTube who your subscribers are. And I'm putting notes over here in the comments for everybody. You can see who your subscribers are and follow up with them. And for example, offer them your lead magnet, offer them your checklist, your template, your free ebook, your free video. I mean, for goodness sakes, one thing, Barrett, I've been thinking about is I love interviewing people. And tons of people,
you're good at it.
Oh, thank you. I just love to talk with people. I love people's stories. That's what I do everywhere I go. I hear people's stories and, talk with people. So today I got to talk with my Rolfer. It was great, long, interesting discussion. My Rolfer massage therapist. So,
Cool.
what I wanted to say, where I lost my train of thought, is you want to offer people that freemium, and you could do it at the end of your video. You could certainly do that at the beginning and end of your video, do it in the description, put your website there,
Most
put the link
definitely.
to the landing page for them to get it. But definitely do something more than just put a nice video. Your video needs to have a call to action. So notice I gave y'all a call to action at the beginning. What was it? What was it? Who heard it? Who heard it? Did you hear it? I said, subscribe to my channel and keep an eye out, because every 4:30 Eastern on Fridays, there's an amazing broadcast with a bold, badass business owner. So go ahead and subscribe there. That was my call to action for you. Have always a call to action. Don't just put a nice video up there. People, I don't know why people are afraid to put a call to action. Have you found that, Dr. Barrett?
I think people are so apprehensive about someone saying that they're trying to sell them. And guess what? They should be trying to sell them. The world operates on sales. Right. You're in business. Right. The world operates on sales. So you should be trying to sell someone. If you have a business, you should be trying to sell.
Everything in life is enrollment. Everything is enrollment. You all, I don't really like the word sales that much. I like the word enrollment. But think about it. It's enrollment for everything. If you want to get married, you're enrolling that person and marrying your ass. If you want to work with somebody, you're enrolling them and working with you. If you want the salt and pepper that's at the other end of the table where you're sitting, you are enrolling somebody and passing it to you. Everything. You're enrolling your friend and loaning you money, whatever. Everything in life is enrollment. And if we can just get over that idea that it's a bad thing to sell, or to enroll people, it's not at all. Not at all. Yeah. So where should that CTA come in your video and your audio podcast?
Well, I think it can come in the beginning, the middle, and the end. It just depends. You don't want to do it the same way every time, but you can do, like, for instance, I can do a podcast and give a CTA right at the beginning before I get into my interview. I can go into the middle of my podcast and do a break and say, hey, make sure you do this. And at the end, I can say, hey, remember we mentioned earlier this, and then I can do it in different ways, especially if I'm doing video. I can have it scroll across the screen at one point. I could have an image pop up in the middle of it. And I could even show a video towards the end of it.
You could fall off your seat.
Yes, I could fall off
your seat, and then everybody will love it. Just get to.
That's definitely a call to action. Yes.
You can crawl back up and say, "But wait, please help me.
There's more.
There's more." Oh, I just sat on my Jinsu knives. Ouch. Yeah. New and improved. You'd be like, help. I've been watching The Walking Dead, so everything is about it, just like clamoring zombie people. So let me ask you this, because I've always wondered this, if this is all right, Dr. Barrett. I have wondered, how long do we really have to catch somebody's attention in a podcast, like an audio versus video? And is it the same or is it different?
It's pretty much the same. I read something recently that said people's attention spans are that of a goldfish. So, you better grab them in the first 7 to 10 seconds. You better grab their attention in the first 7 to 10 seconds. And by that, I mean, like for instance, how we started here today, we got right into it. We got right into our interview because you can actually look up analytics to see where people are dropping off. And a lot of the people,
Yep.
when they listen to podcasts, they drop off quickly. They want to see if it's interesting enough to keep them. Otherwise, I mean, think about when you search the web, you go on a website or something. If it doesn't grab you at the top of that screen, you're going to go to something else. So it's the same thing when people are listening and watching something. It needs to grab their attention. If you don't grab their attention, you're not going to keep their attention. They're not coming back to listen to it later. So you got to do it quickly in the first 7 to 10 seconds, because otherwise you're looking at goldfish.
Yeah, there you go. That's my goldfish imitation.
Exactly.
I think that looks bizarre. But anyway, but we should probably, and of course, it's going to be the thumbnail that YouTube puts up when I do this. It'll be. I always have the worst thumbnails. I have thumbnails that make me look like shit, is all I have to say. They just make me look like shit. There's today's real word, y'all. I'm keeping it real here, but really all my thumbnails, I always look weird. But you can change them, which is good. But I figure somebody said to me, that's good they look weird. Then somebody's gonna be like, what the hell is she talking about? Let's listen.
It gets their attention once again.
Their attention. Yeah. Just like that ring light, that halo light you've got right there. When we see that, I want y'all to notice something. Look, he has a prop. This is very important to have a prop. Have something. Notice my degrees back here. Have a prop.
I got a degree over here, and I got my plant behind me. So
you got your plant, but have something that establishes your credibility there in your backdrop. And it does not have to be. I'm gonna say something, Dr. Barrett. I'm gonna say it because this is bold, badass business owners. We don't mince words. I hate those fake ass backdrops. I hate those. It is very rare that I like them. I did like the one of Jor-El Mitchell. Jor-El, if you're watching this, I liked yours when I interviewed you. I'm being real. But most of the time I hate them because you're looking and you're like, that is such a fake ass office. That is not. This person is sitting in their grandma's basement doing this. And they've got this backdrop that has like, I don't know what, like a spiral staircase with Rococo gilt ornate, whatever banister on it. We are not at the Biltmore House, people.
Now, I've had fake backgrounds. That usually the fake backgrounds I do, like I had one that was so good that I talked to this lady once, and she said that she's angry at me. I said, why? She said, because your house is neater than mine. I said, okay, that's not my house, but so.
I thought you were going to say I had a background that was so good that I got up and tried to sit in the chair, and it didn't
And I had another one, and I was like, you've seen the one that has a studio, a lot of people, oh God, is that your studio?
No, that one is a good one. I thought that was real.
No, it's
you just told your secret.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, look, it's media, so that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to have that thing. But no, but the key is, like you said, now if I sat there having, the mountains right behind me, that it just looks stupid. And
with Julie Andrews yodeling.
Right. The other thing is, you got to have it well lit. If you're going to do it, make sure it's well lit. You don't want to see the green ring around you, and when you move, you see the green behind you. It just doesn't look good.
And it looks bad too. Like when your dog runs in and jumps up, then we see that's a fake ass background, people.
I had that happen to someone.
Half the dog's head is like gone, and you're like, that is not a dog with a half head.
I had that happen with someone with her father who was walking in the background, and her daughter came up to her, and I told her, I said, you know what? We're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep this.
That's funny. You know what? I was on one call. Now, this was not a broadcast, but it was a Zoom call. And there was a kid in the background doing like all his dance moves on his PlayStation or whatever it was. It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard. Now, you really have to watch. I actually encourage my daughter. She's with her dad right now, but usually at about 5 o'clock, she will come in because she gets home and she'll come give me a hug, even though I'm broadcasting. And I just like that because I always want her to come give me a hug.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm willing to keep that. Your daughter came in and hugged. I'm like, I don't mind that.
It's real life.
It's real life.
real life, and it shows who we are. It
Yep.
shows who we are. So that's important. So we were just talking, you all, don't have a fake ass background unless it really looks real. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you have it. A lot of people use the same ones too. That's the other thing. It's like those Vista print business cards that all look the same. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's
Don't
true.
have a
That is very true.
background that everybody's like, oh, I've seen that house before.
That is
Have
very true.
something that
You have the exact
establishes
same
your
house
credibility.
as
Yeah. And this is my real house. This is my real chair I sit in every day when I do my work. These are my real, I keep doing that. These are my real diplomas over here, wherever they are behind me. This is my real fan and my real mirror back there. Be real. People want to see the real us in video.
they
This
do.
is not the time that you want to get on and appear, hold your hand up and do Shakespeare. Just be you, right? Be you. So I love number 3. You said embrace video, get over yourself. Yes, I have a client who hates video, and she just did the vulnerable video that I told you about. Guess
Mhm.
how many likes and loves and comments she had? It was all over that. It was
How
so
many?
powerful, and she saw the power of video.
Really? Good.
She saw it in that time. I've had to twist her arm and, all of that, and it's been big. So as people get on there and do video, what would you say is a good way for them to get over themselves and just get going? Do you have any tricks you could tell
Uh,
us? Like,
well, understand that you're not talking to people, you're talking to a freaking camera. So you're just talking to a
yeah,
camera. That, that,
that's
that- the,
true.
camera the camera can't judge you. So you're just talking to a camera.
You're
So
talking to
just
a
get
camera.
on.
I like that.
I mean, I'm literally looking at a camera right now. Camera can't do
Yeah.
anything to me. So I'm just looking to a camera. I'm
It
talking
can't
to a
slap you
camera.
and say, what the heck did you just say? It can't come out and I have a little trick I use, Dr. Barrett, and that is I imagine that I'm talking to somebody I really like, you know, and so if I'm doing a broadcast that's meant to be for prospects, clients, I'll just imagine that I'm talking to one of my favorite clients or a favorite friend.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
that I imagine that person's here and I'm just talking right to them. And
Well,
it,
there
it
you
just
go.
it just frees me up.
But I mean, the best advice I can give them is the Nike slogan: "Just do it." You'll
Just
realize
do
once you do it, it ain't that bad.
Exactly, like, you lived through it. You're still
Right,
here.
right. It didn't kill you. You lived through it. It's like, okay, next.
The gremlins didn't come out of the camera and strangle you because you
Right,
sucked on camera.
right,
And the
exactly.
other thing is people are like, "Oh, I look so fat," or "I look so this," or "I look so that." And we have to get over it, you all. The best thing I've ever found to do that is just to think about the fact that I have a message that's gonna impact somebody's life, you know?
That's it. That's it. It's going to impact somebody's life, and it's one of those things that you have to realize that your message is bigger than your vanity.
Whoa. Okay, wait a second. That's going in the comments. I love that, Dr. Barrett. That's like, okay, I can't even use the word gym for that one. That one's like, what the heck is that? That's a Learjet right there.
And
Learjet.
if it isn't, you need a new message. I mean, I'm just saying.
Message has to be bigger than your vanity. And I would say too, to add to that, I would add, I love that. Ooh, I misspelled vanity. I'm typing at the same time.
You
This is
probably
the
think this
Learjet
song
for
is about
tonight.
you.
Yeah, there you go. Your message has to be bigger than your vanity. And I would say also your desire to serve has to be bigger than your worries about being embarrassed.
Yes, I agree. I
So what
agree.
if you get embarrassed? So what? You know, then people like you better because nobody likes a Barbie doll.
Right.
Nobody likes a Barbie doll. Nobody likes a plastic person.
Exactly. A lot of people
Yeah.
throughout history have been embarrassed in their life who've done great things.
Oh, yes. Oh, most of the people who've done great things have embarrassed themselves over and over and over again.
Exactly.
Look at Elon Musk. Look at all lots of
I
people
mean,
have
look
embarrassed.
at it like this. Do you think Martin Luther King was proud when he went to jail? He was embarrassed.
Yeah, heck yeah. He wrote some great stuff in jail, man. Those were his best.
Right.
See, if you think about it, when you go to jail, you can write a lot because you've got somebody feeding you, right? Seriously, a lot of
Yeah.
people have written great books in jail. So those of you who say you can't write your book, well, just go to jail and you'll get that thing done.
You're left
Today
with nothing
still.
but you're left with nothing but your thoughts.
Exactly. Nothing but your thoughts and maybe not even your clothes. That's for sure. You
Right.
got to put on the duds there. So, but seriously, yeah, you get that stuff done. That's an extra bonus tip, y'all.
Right,
So, but
right.
I'm not bringing you cookies, chocolate chip cookies, and neither is Dr. Barrett. So, y'all just that's on you. You have to order your DoorDash into the prison. So, what about number 4? Number 4. You've
Number
given us these
4,
3 wonderful ones. Number
number
4,
4
Dr.
is
Barrett.
repurpose, repurpose, repurpose.
Whoa,
You
yes.
you have content. The thing drives me nuts, Dr. B, to hear this from people. I don't have any content. You do. You do have content. If you're a business owner, you've got content. You just haven't
Mhm.
thought about what to do with it because you put
Yes.
it out maybe a long time ago. Repurpose it. You can, and when I say repurpose, if you did an audio for something, if you did a podcast interview, take that
Yep.
interview, get the transcript. You can use the transcript to write an ebook. You can take the clips from a video podcast and make them into YouTube shorts, or you can put them on TikTok or whatever. They can be all types of social media content. If you've done a whole series of podcasts, you can turn that into a book. You can have, I've done
Mhm.
interviews with people for a whole season of podcasts and turned it into a coffee table book. Because I
Love it.
used my content for the, so I took the pictures of the images I've had about each person. I took the content, I made that more literal instead of just what they said on the podcast, and I made a coffee table book with each chapter being their episode. There's so many things you can do. You can actually set up another camera and shoot yourself and make that into a documentary film. There's so much you can do with your content. But don't say you don't have content, because you do. But you just got to repurpose it and use it in other ways.
And just get on Zoom, y'all. I mean, get on Zoom and start talking. You on Zoom and start talking, and then take the transcript and
Thank
then
you.
use that thing. Use it. Just
Yeah,
just
I mean,
change it and use it.
and I'm glad you said that. Zoom, do you understand that Zoom gives you 3 areas of content just off the bat? You got the audio, you got the video, and you got the transcript. Those are 3 areas of content you have right off the bat. Now it's up to you to use it.
Right. Yes, it's up to you to use it, but you've got 3 different ways to do it. And, that's something I'm taking from what you're saying too, is that we shouldn't just be in one form. Don't just do audio, an audio podcast, do audio podcasts and video.
Yeah.
Don't just do blogs, right? Turn your blogs into a podcast, turn the
Right.
podcast into a book, whatever. Yeah, I'm actually in a compilation book that is coming from interviews the woman is doing with each person. She puts this on her podcast, and then she's taken that and put it into a book called Grit, Guts, and Courage. So it's great. It's a great thing to do. And actually, you're smart to say that, Dr. Barrett, because I've been thinking about it for this show. Actually, I've been thinking about taking this stuff down the road and doing some kind of book out of it.
Yeah.
That'll be like built bold, badass business owners,
There you
share their
go.
secrets. So you all repurpose, repurpose, repurpose. Never, never, never do something just once. And the stuff you did in the beginning of your business, go revisit it. Like pull it
Yeah.
out, just like you would pull out those bell bottoms you have from the 70s.
Oh
Or
Lord.
you pull out your, I don't know, your whatever special class ring you wore when you were in college. Pull that thing out, pull it out and look at what you did then, because you may be surprised how good it is. Have you
Yeah.
had that experience? I've had that experience where I was like, oh God, when did I write this? This is probably shitty. And then I read it and I'm like, wow, that's really good. Bring that stuff back.
Yeah, I agree. Bring it
And you
back.
know what? You all your listeners can tell you what they want to know. Ask your listeners, what do you want to know about? Okay, listeners, I'm asking you now, what do you want to know about? What kind of bold, badass business owners do you want me to have on here? What are the problems in your business that you're like, oh, I don't know what to do? Where are you procrastinating? Where are you stuck? Where are you not moving forward? Where are
I
you
have a
afraid?
friend. I like what you said. Bring it back. I have a friend who says that renaming it makes it new. So bring it back, give
Yeah,
it a new name, and now it's new again.
totally
Like,
true. Look,
yeah,
I had the seminar called what was it? Try how to boost your profits in a down economy. Nobody got that seminar. Nobody hired me for it. I changed the title and they hired me immediately. Same
ain't that something?
seminar.
Think
It
about it. You
is.
take a bathrobe, turn around backwards. You got a Snuggie.
There you go. Take a bathrobe, turn it around backwards, and you got a Snuggie. Today's metaphor. So y'all don't ever use this stuff once. And if you really want to understand the content you've got, you got to hire somebody like Dr. Barrett who'll look through your content and they'll be like, this stuff is golden. You need to use this. Why aren't you using this? You need to get it out and share it. And they
Yeah,
won't let you get by with hiding. You cannot get by with hiding when you hire somebody,
that's right.
you know?
You shouldn't try.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't try. I work with a lot of people who've been hiding. They've got this big business stream, but they've been hiding. And I don't let them hide. And that's big. That's what you need is somebody who's going to come and pull you out of your shell and get you on the media, for instance, like Dr. Barrett. So repurpose, repurpose, repurpose. Well, how about number 5?
Well, number 5,
here.
it's funny. Years ago, about 10 years ago, I wrote a book called Why Didn't You Get It Done? And it's funny because I tell people, in order to get it done, you don't have to be the one. And what I mean by that is this: delegate yourself. If you know that you have something has to get done, get someone else to do it who loves it. For instance, I produce podcasts. I don't like editing. So guess what? I have other people to edit. So I know my strength is used somewhere else. Let someone else do something that their strength is in while you can focus on other things. As Michael Gerber said in the email, focus on working on your business instead of in your business. If you know that your strength can be utilized somewhere else, delegate to someone else and let them handle things for you so your work gets done. Okay, I'm going to say this to them. You cannot be the COE. You have to be the CEO. What's the COE? The chief of everything. You can't do it.
Oh, Lord.
You can't do it. You have to be the CEO. And CEOs, they delegate. Have you ever seen Bill Gates on a computer? No, because Bill Gates is too busy running the company. So you have to make sure that you're in a position where you can delegate to other people. Is it going to cost you some money? Yeah, probably will. But it will cost you a lot less than it will cost you if you're trying to do everything by yourself and not really getting it all done. So delegate. Mm-hmm. That's number 5.
That's so important. You can't be the COE, chief of everything. So you need to have people who have the expertise. And, this is another way people procrastinate. Dr. Barrett, they'll just be like, okay, I have to learn how to do this. I have to learn how to do video production and editing and keyword optimization and search engine optimization. And I have to learn. And then basically they get themselves off the hook. They get overwhelmed and they don't do anything. They get paralyzed. And this is why
they give themselves that excuse as to, well, I didn't learn all that stuff, so I can't do it.
Right. Speed of implementation is key, right? And your speed of implementation of actually just letting someone else be in their strength zone, doing the thing they do best is great.
Yes. That I mean, that's it. I mean, you have to let other people do what they do. Even like, for instance, I part of my program, we do graphics for people for their podcast. I have graphic artists I work with, and I tell the artists, this is the concept I'm looking at. Create something. You're the artist. And I get out of their way. And people say, well, you don't tell them that you want. I said, no, they're the artist. I want them to create. I'll let them know if I like it or not. I'll let them know, can they tweak that? But I want them to create something. I want them to do something that I can't do in my mind because they're the artist. I let them do what they do. You don't go into a restaurant and tell the chef, I want you to cook it this way, that way, and that way. You let the chef be a chef. So I let them work in their strength. And then I step back and see if I like what they did. Any art you've seen, if you liked it or you didn't like it, you let the artist create and you just told them whether you liked it or not. It's not for you to design it. So that's what I just like, letting people do what they do best.
Yeah. And it frees up your time. frees up your energy, frees up your mind power for the things that you are good at, you know? Yeah, which is so powerful. You know, the whole positive psychology movement is based on the idea, you all, that you don't try to bring what you don't know how to do and aren't good at up, because think about that gap. The gap is huge.
Yeah.
What you try to do is you take your strength zone and you work from there, because you can improve. There's not that much you need to improve to be in your zone of genius with your strength.
No.
But if you're trying to go from square zero, you know, ground zero, and build something, and you're making yourself learn all this stuff, that's absolutely ridiculous, you know? And it's a recipe for failure, because you're not doing your revenue generating activities, which I love to rail about. I love to rail about it. So, Dr. Barrett, I know you have a new program and our time is coming to an end. You have given us so much valuable content, and I really appreciate that. I've got everything noted over here. And y'all who are watching, what are your ahas here? What did you learn that you think, oh yeah, I never thought about that? Huh, I could turn my podcast into a book. What is it that you thought that you learned today from this interview? Please pop it up in the chat when you watch, all right? And Dr. Barrett, tell us a little bit real quickly about the program that you have. I know you have a special program that you're launching.
Well, yeah, actually, I have a challenge for them. I have the Make Money from Media Challenge. So,
whoa.
If you want to learn all those things I was telling you about, learn how you can do those for yourself, all you have to do is go to makemoneyfrommediachallenge.com. How simple is that? Makemoneyfrommediachallenge.com, and you can learn how to do all the things. It's a 5-day challenge. And you can come in either as general admission or VIP. General admission, you get to listen and learn for an hour each day and take a lot of notes and learn. You get a workbook as well with it, and you get a lot of videos so you can learn some things as well from that. That's included in general admission. VIP, you get more videos.
What's the tuition? Is there tuition or is it free?
I'm glad you asked that. For general admission is only $97 for the whole week.
Okay.
And VIP, you're going to get all those things that the general admission gets. Plus, you're also going to get more specialized training and on it. You're also going to get an extra hour each day. So you get to come on an hour before the general admission, and you get to ask personalized questions that I answer to you. Where general admission doesn't get to ask questions, but the VIPs get to ask questions about anything related to their business and their media as well. Now, here's the thing. Everybody is going to get a special. I partnered with a company where they are allowing me to give. I don't know about you, but I like to travel. So if you like to travel, you're going to get discounted hotels anywhere in the world just for coming into the challenge. Everybody's going to get it. So
all
we're going to make sure you travel in style. So this down for the VIP, you get of course more travel, but the VIP is $297 for the entire week. So you get that extra hour, you get personalized training, and I tell everybody at the beginning, I'm going to make you an offer. Now you can refuse if you want. This is not the Godfather, but I'm going to make you an offer that if you learn these things about how to do this, and you say, that's great, Barrett, but I really don't want to do it myself. Well, I have an offer where I can help do that for you. So I have a team of people that can do it for you. We can do your media for you. But I always tell people before I make you that offer, I'm going to earn the right to make that offer by teaching you how to do it yourself. So that way you'll understand what needs to be done. So that's it, the Make Money from Media Challenge. You can go ahead and register if you like to, makemoneyfrommediachallenge.com.
Love it. And is there anything special you could give my people who come to you?
Yes. If they
like that picture of you on the cover of GQ. That was the issue. We decided that was the issue that just didn't get published.
Yeah. So they didn't even give it to me. They didn't even give me the proofs. So.
And by the way, I was on the front of Sports Illustrated swimsuit too. That was an issue that didn't get published. It really didn't. It was a media oversight.
I think that was the same week we were both in photo shoots.
It was the same week. I think it was the same editorial assistant who just messed that
same
up.
Photographer too.
Been there. Really.
But for your audience right now, if they go to 5waystoPayingClients.com. That's the number 5, www.5waystoPayingClients.com. I have a special training for them. It's complimentary. You go there right now, you get my complimentary training on 5 ways to paying clients, where I show you how you can get some clients for your business that pay you.
And it's video? It's
Yes.
a video training. Cool. Free video training for you. I'm putting that up here, y'all. Video training for you. So I love that. So you have given us so much. The number 5 ways to payingclients.com. You all go check that out. Check out the video training for free, and also go to the makemoneyformediachallenge.com, and you need to register as either general admission or VIP, but the VIPs get a whole heck of a lot more and tons of even more travel discounts all over the world. So you all check these things out. You know, one thing I can tell you about Dr. Barrett is he is very generous with his time, and he is very knowledgeable and very accessible, right? He's not going to talk to you in jargon that makes you feel stupid, right? And there are people who do that. Yeah, he's gonna break it down and keep it real, so that you understand why he is suggesting that you do what he's suggesting. So, Dr. Barrett, is there any last thing you want to say to everybody that if you just had one final parting word that you could say, you know, profound. Or not, but what would you say to people if there was just one thing that you could end this with? What would you, a piece of advice, piece of counsel, piece of encouragement, what would you say to them?
I would tell them to stop thinking about what you have to do and just do it. Bruce Lee had a quote that says, "The man who thinks too long on a thing never gets it done." So stop thinking about it. You're sitting there talking about, I can see you right now. You're talking about doing a podcast. You're talking about writing a book. You're talking about all these things, but you haven't done it. Just do it. It may not be perfect, but it'll be done. Done beats perfect any day.
Yep. And, you know, most people don't do things because of fear. That's what I've found. There's some kind of fear there. It could be fear of success, fear of failure, fear of I'm not going to be good enough. There are all sorts of things there. But once you get moving, fear cannot coexist with action. I just want to say that fear cannot coexist with action. Once you get your butt in gear, guess what? It'll go away. I just enrolled a new person in my Make It Happen Mastermind this week, Dr. Barrett, and she was in tears when we had our enrollment conversation. And she was like, you know, I'm so afraid. And I said, I know you are. And guess what? I would worry if you weren't. Because the fact that you're afraid and you're emotional about it tells me this is really important to you. These are high stakes. And the thing is, I'm going to be right beside you. I'll be behind you and kick your butt lovingly. I'll be beside you. I'll coax you along, whatever is needed for you to get moving. And you know what? As soon as she made that commitment, she was scared, but we got up and did a happy dance in the restaurant where we were. We did, in front of everybody. We did a happy dance. We did a happy dance outside, because you got to shake that off physically too. Shake it off physically, you all. When you start thinking, oh, podcast, oh, video, oh, get up and do some freaking jumping jacks and get that fight, flight, freeze, fawn stuff, that reptilian brain. Don't let it win. Okay. So Dr. Barrett, you have been such an amazing guest. I just love your personality, and I love your, GQ missed out. What can I say? And I love all these 5 ways that you've given everybody. These are pure gold. And the Learjet one is, you know, your message has to be bigger than your vanity. Well taken, well spoken. Thank you so much for coming. And everyone, this is Bold Badass Business Owners here every Friday at 4:30 p.m., approx 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Come on live, comment. Don't be an internet voyeur. That's creepy. Comment, engage, put your ahas, and would you subscribe, and would you share this with other people you know who are in business, or they're putting off starting their own business, but you know they want to do it. All right. You could make the difference in somebody's life. I'm committed that you don't go to your grave without giving the world the passionate, purposeful, and profitable livelihood that is yours. All right. Dr. Barnsley Brown, let's thank Dr. Barrett. Thank you again. And I'll see you all next week.